Hi everybody, my name is Renee and I am at the Town Lake YMCA in downtown Austin, and I am here today to bring you a senior fitness workout for our class today. You'll need some kind of weighted object. If you have dumbbells at home, that's great, and if you don't, you can grab cans of food, jars of something, anything weighted around your house that you can hold on to for this workout. And if you have nothing that you feel comfortable holding, you can still do this workout even just with your own body, all right? We're gonna go ahead and start with a short warm-up. Let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath up and a big exhale out, and let's start by just marching it out in place. Make sure you've got a little space around you so you don't knock into anything in your living room or wherever you're working out there. Marching it out here, and we're gonna take it to a wide march, picking those feet up, lifting your knees up. Good, nice and easy here. Back to a center march. Good, marching it out. Now we're gonna take it to an out wide and in narrow. Out and in. Good, out and in. Now we don't have any music playing today because it's your opportunity to put on whatever kind of music you like to listen to while you're working out. We can add some arms here. Good, out and in. Good, whatever style you want here. Marching it out. Now march in place again, swinging those arms. We're gonna take it forward and back just a little bit. It's forward for 3 and back for 3. Forward for 3 and back. Now if you don't have much room in your living room, you can always still march in place, and that's okay. March it forward and back. One more time, forward and back, and march in place. March and march. Now we're going to take it side to side. It's side step, side step. Push those arms down to the floor. We can make this a nice small step just to start with as we're getting warmed up. Pushing those arms down. Good. Step those feet wide apart. Now kick the heel back behind you. Kicking it back. Good. Let's bring those arms across the chest. Good. Squeeze those shoulder blades together each time. Warming up that back while we're warming up those legs as well. Now let's tap that toe to the side, and we're going to swing the arms. Swing the arms as you tap side to side. Good. Swinging side and side. Now let's step the foot in as you step in. Still swinging those arms. And now we're going to tap that heel front. Heel front. Curl the arms as you tap that heel. Alternating sides. Curling it in. Curl and curl. Now lift that knee up. Keep those arms right where they're at, but lift the knees. If you can get up to hip height, great work. If not, even just low knees works. We each want to work at our own level for our whole class. So challenge yourself where you need to. Lift them a little higher. Take those rests where you need to. Good. Now let's push those arms up overhead. Reach tall for the ceiling. Good. Stretching the arms up. Reaching tall, and back to the beginning, march it out. March, march. Here we go, wide and narrow. It's out and in, out and in. Taking those arms with it. If the arms are too confusing, you can leave them right there on your waist. You choose the arms, keeping those feet moving. 4 and 3. 2, one more. Now march it forward and back. Here we go. It's forward and back. Forward and back. Again, up and back. One more time. Forward. Marching it in place. March, march. Now step it side to side. Bring those arms down to the floor. Good. Up to that shoulder height. Then push them down. Now, if you can, step it a little wider. If you want a little more challenge, you can always add a hop to this as well. Even more challenge. Choose your level or keep it small. Side, side. Now let's kick that heel back. Push those arms across the chest. Kicking it back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Good. Bend the elbows as they come to the side. 4, 3, 2, tap the toe and swing the arms. Swing, swing, and swing. Side to side, shifting that weight over to one foot as the other foot taps. Good. Arms come up. Now stepping the feet in, stepping it in big, or keep it small side to side. Your choice. Arms can come low right here or up high. The higher they come, the more that heart rate is going to climb. Choose your level. Swing to the side. 4, 3, 2. Tap the heels in front. Heel tap, heel tap. Good. Right there. Standing nice and tall, or bend it down with each tap. 4, 3, 2. Let's lift those knees up. Lift, lift. Good. Can you get them up to those hips? As high as you can, or a little lower if you need. Now push the arms up overhead. Reach for that ceiling. Reach, reach. Good. Reach and reach. 4, 3, 2, and march it out. Good work. All right, we're going to go into our lunge prep here. So we're going to take those feet about hip width apart. We're going to start with one leg and step that leg back into a lunge position here. Both toes are pointed towards the front of the room. And from here, you can take your hands on your hips or out. And we're going to take it down, and we're going to come up, and we're going to take it down, and we're going to come up. As you bend down, that back leg is bending down. This front leg is staying almost stationary in this position. That front knee, make sure you stays right over that ankle. It never goes over that toe. Let's go one more time. Good, and then step it up. We can shake those legs a little bit. Let's try the other side. Same thing, both legs back. Take a look at that back leg. Make sure that ankle isn't coming inward, but it stays pointing straight in front, hands here or out. Take it down and up, and down and up. Now we can do just a slight bend, just an inch or two, or we can take that back knee deep. Again, many different options, somewhere in between maybe. Not all the way down, not all the way at the top. Good, bending down and up. 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Step it up. Shake those legs out a little bit. We're going to go into a tap in the toe back, alternating to a tap back, tap and tap. Hands can stay on the waist, or you can take them out in front of you, or alternate them. They're not doing anything special here. We're just practicing this footwork here. Tapping the toes back, alternating. One back behind the other. So that weight stays pretty much centered over that standing leg still. And now we're going to slow it down. So it's back tap and in, back tap and in, back and in, back and in. Good. 4 and 3. Option to stay here, or we're going to go back into a lunge position. So we're going to push that weight into that foot and step together. And then other legs coming back and step together. Hands can be out to help for balance, or we can keep them on our hips. Good. So option to either step that foot back or lunge back, pushing that weight into that back leg. Choose how far you want to push back into that lunge. Again, deep, or right here with just that tap. Good. 4 and 3, 2, one more time. Excellent, good. Let's march it out on that other foot. We're gonna go through from very, very top where we started that warm up, starting with the marching out, opposite foot that you did the first 2 times. March, march. Here we go, out and in. Take it out and in, out and in. Add the arms if you want. Right here, out and in, or keep them on your hips. Your choice. Take it out and in, wide and narrow. It's like we're stepping into a V step. Top of the V, bottom of the V, top and bottom. 4 and 3, 2, one more time. Now march it forward and back. Take it up and back. Up and back. Again, if you don't have much room in your living room, make these steps small or just march in place. One more time. and march in place again. March, march. Now side step to the side, take those arms down, push to the floor, push, push. This is a great chance to warm up these arms so they're not just floating, but we're really intentionally pushing down and down. Good. Now kick that heel back, arms come across the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, right along that plane of the shoulders, pulling forward and back, forward and back. 4, 3, 2, swing the arms, tap the toes, swing, swing. Again, instead of just floating the arms, really think about pushing those arms up, locking in that position, even if it's here, or down low, your choice, but working those arms. 4, 3, 2, let's step it in now. Big step if you want, or tiny step, stepping side to side, side to side. 4, 3, 2, tap the heels front. Curl those arms. Good. Standing here or sitting it down. Stand or sitting down into almost a squat. Not quite. 4, 3, 2, let's lift those knees. Lift, lift. Can you get them up to those hips? Hopefully you're getting a little bit warm by now. We're a lot warm. That heart rate is up there. Let's push the arms up to the ceiling. Raise that heart rate just a little more. If your heart rate's too high, keep those arms down in that curl position. 4, 3, 2, and march it out again. March, march. Let's tap the toe behind us now. Tap, 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 and tap. 4, 3, 2, slow it down. Slow it down, forward, down, and forward. Option here to go into that lunge when you're ready. Lunge it back and lunge it back. Or you can keep it there with just that step back, your choice. Pushing that weight back into that back leg if you're at that level and you're able to. Now if this feels too fast, you can always slow it down, step it back and in, back and in. Let's do 4 more. And 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's shake those legs out a little bit. Let's go ahead and grab a drink of water. And while you're grabbing that water, you can also grab your weights. We're gonna start by working our back and our shoulders. So, if you have more than one set of weights, you may wanna start with something on the heavier side if you have it. And again, if you don't have weights, you can grab anything weighted that you can grip onto and hold onto for this workout. Our feet are going to be a little bit wider than our hip width apart. As we stand up nice and tall here, we're going to hinge from our hip, keeping that spine in that neutral position. So as we bend down, these weights are going to drop down towards our knees, our back stays flat, and then we're going to come back up tall again. So we want to make sure that we're not just rolling down and rolling that back here, but really pressing down with that chest and belly, and then coming back up to a standing position. So pulling that belly in, keeping it flat, and then coming up tall. So the next part of the exercise is an upright row. Elbows are going to come high to the side as the weights come up to the shoulders. And then we're going to bring those weights down. And we're going to pull those elbows up high, and then bring the weight down. Pulling it up high, and then bring it down. Good. As we do this, our knees stay soft. We're standing nice and tall. Those weights each time come right up to that chest. Make sure those elbows don't go above the shoulders, but right at that shoulder level. Good. All right, now we're going to combine that down. So we're going to start with that back, standing nice and tall, hinging from that hip, letting those weights come down, and then coming back up to a standing position, and then upright row right here, bringing it down. So we're bending from that hip down, coming to standing tall, and then upright row. So working that back, supporting that back as you bend down, lifting with those shoulders right here. Further we bend down, the more we're working that back. So it's kind of an easier back exercise to start with, kind of warming up that back. If you feel too much strain in your back as you do this, you can bend just a little bit here and not go all the way down. Or you can just hold right here and do an extra row set, upright row set, instead of doing that back exercise. Starting here, we can bend down lower if we're feeling that back is ready and warmed up. But keeping that back in that nice flat position, never rounding it. Those knees are staying basically straight. They might bend a tiny bit, but for the most part, we're just bending from that hip. Let's do one more time. All right, let's take those feet together now. We're gonna go into a squat position here. So option to set those weights down if you wanna do this without a squat, but let's all try it with the weights if we can. We're gonna start by simply tapping one foot out and then coming back to the center. The other foot is gonna tap out and we come back to the center. So it's gonna be side and center, other side and center. When we're ready, sit into that squat as you go to the side, back to center, and then sit on the other side, back to center. Those hips push back behind us like we're sitting into a chair. Chest stays lifted. Good, and we make sure that those knees do not go in front of the toes, but they're staying right there over the ankles as we push those hips back behind us. Again, at any point, we can just go to a side step. We can do a mini squat, just a little bit, or we can go deep. So we have choices of different levels, how difficult we want to make this for us. Right now, our pace is going pretty slow, just working on the footwork of this movement side to side. Good, stepping it out one side. Body weight is centered each time we go into that squat. So we're centering it here, stepping it out, and pushing it back down. All right, let's try one more on each side. Last one here. All right, bring those feet back together and let's take them back about hip width apart. We're gonna repeat those two things that we just did. So starting with our back here, we wanna take those weights, the knuckles face to the front, standing nice and tall, knees are soft. As we hinge from that hip and bend down, let those weights drop down, coming back up to standing tall, and then upright row, bringing it down. Once again, bending down, letting those weights come down, standing tall, and upright row. Bending down, standing up tall, and upright row. Excellent. Make sure that you're keeping those abdominals pulled in strong the whole time. That spine is staying nice and tall and strong, that we're not allowing that back to round as we go through this movement. As we get tired, that's when our back wants to round and give out and not maintain that tall posture that we want to keep. Let's try two more of these. Bending it down as deep as you feel comfortable. That might be a little bit, or it might be a lot, letting those weights come to the knees. Let's bring those feet together and we're going to do that side step and center, side step and center, or squat and center. Your choice if it's a step or a squat. It can be a deep squat or a shallow squat. And you can alternate it too. So maybe you do a step for one and then a squat on the other side, or a shallow squat and then a deep squat. Choose your level. If you're getting a little bit winded here, that means that heart rate is working. And we're getting not only a strength workout from that lower body, but also a decent cardio workout at the same time. Stepping out, bring those feet together, and again, center that weight. Let's go 4 more here. 3, 2, and last one. All right, bring those feet together about hip width apart again, and we're gonna go into our next set of exercises. If you need to grab a drink of water before we do these, go ahead and do that. We're gonna go into the upper back now, so we want those feet, again, to be a little bit wider than our hips. And from here, same thing we did with the last exercise, where we're gonna bend from that hip and hinge. This time we're gonna hinge all the way over, so those weights drop below the chest, and we want our back to be ideally facing the ceiling. When we're in this upright position or even a half bent over position, sometimes our shoulders will take over the work, and to make sure our back's doing that work, we want to come down as far as we can here. We're going to take those knuckles to the outside, and we're going to take those arms long to the outside and then bring them back underneath the chest. So we're opening wide and then lowering underneath. Squeeze those shoulder blades as those arms come out to the side, making sure that we're doing a nice, slow, steady pace. So this exercise isn't about how fast we can go. As we lift up If you can pause at the top, that's where you're gonna really have to work and squeeze those shoulder blades at the top. So that upper middle back is working, even when you pause at the top, and then slowly let it down. Good, let's do one more. Excellent, roll those shoulders back, standing up nice and tall. And from here, we're gonna go into a bicep exercise. Knuckles stay to the outside, and we're gonna curl those weights up towards the shoulders, and then bring it back down to the side. Curl up to the shoulders, and then bring it back down to the side. Curling up, and bring it down. Now with a bicep curl, it's easy to just let those weights drop from the top, but we wanna think about that exercise. Lifting up, of course we have to do work, but we also want to do work on the downside, resisting gravity each time we go down, making sure that those weights stop right there next to the hip, so we're not letting them swing past the hip, but we're making those bicep muscles work the whole time. Let's go 4 and 3, 2, and hold the last one at the top, right here, right at the shoulders. And we're gonna go into our next, which is an overhead press. We're gonna take those elbows out to the outside a little bit here, and we're gonna push those weights up over the shoulders and then back down to the shoulders. So pushing up overhead and then back down to the shoulders. Stretching those weights long overhead and then bringing them back down by the shoulders as those elbows come to the side. Good. Pressing up and then bring it back down over the shoulders. This work is done right over the middle of that shoulder as you stretch those weights over the head and then back over the shoulder. 3 more, and 2, and last one. Excellent. Let's bring those weights all the way down by our side. Now we're going to go back to what we did in our warm-up with those lunges, and we're going to start by just tapping that foot back behind us. We're holding onto those weights right here. So just like our warm-up, right? We tapped back, alternating those taps like that. Good. This might get our heart rate up a little bit. Never a bad thing. Burn a few extra calories and get that heart extra conditioned. Now let's slow it down back to a tap and a center and a tap and a center. Tap, feet back together. All right, this is still in that tap mode. Now we're going to transition into a lunge back. So pushing the weight back into that leg and stepping together. So it's lunging back and coming up, and lunging back and coming up. Option to always stay at that tapping level if you're not ready for this. When we do this, we want to push that weight into that back leg. So we're shifting that body weight back. We can bend it back just a little bit, or bend deep where that back knee comes almost to the floor. Your choice. Back 1, and 2, and 3. Last one. Excellent, good work here. Let's take those feet wide apart now. Once again, we're gonna go through 3 exercises very similar to what we just did, but we're gonna change them up just a tiny bit to keep you on your toes, all right? Let's bend from those hips, take those weights down, and this time, knuckles are gonna face to the front instead of to the side. All right, still pulling those abdominals in strong. Take the elbows to the side now and bring it down. Take it up to the side and bring it down. Good, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Elbows come high to the side. Good, you can keep up with my pace. If you need to slow it down, you can do that. Let's try not to go much faster though. If we start going too fast, momentum takes over. And then all of a sudden we aren't doing as much work as we think we are. And we want to keep working every muscle as we're working through this workout, don't we? Yep. Let's go 3 more. 2. One last time. Excellent. Roll those shoulders back, standing up nice and tall. I think I need a glass adjustment. They keep falling off on me. All right, let's go into our biceps, and we're gonna combine it with the overhead press here. So from here, we're gonna do the bicep curl here, press straight up overhead, back to the shoulders, and then down. So we're combining those 2 exercises together instead of doing them separately. Get more for your money, right? Knock them out at the same time, working that bicep and then going straight into the shoulder. Good. Curl, pressing up and then back down. Same thing that we did with our first set, making sure that you're easing down, using that negative gravity as we lower against gravity, that we're still doing that work. Let's do 2 more of these. We're almost there. I'm sure you guys are doing great. I know I can't see you, but I know you're doing great. You're hanging in there, right? Let's go into our lunges again. This time, instead of a tap, we're gonna go straight into those lunges. So we're gonna take one leg back and up to the center, and then the other leg back. Now, if lunge is too much for you, option to just do those taps instead. But if you're ready to take this on, step it back. And I'm sure you're ready to take it on, I just know it. It's a little different teaching to a camera than actually getting to see what you guys are doing. So I'm going to trust that you guys are doing exactly what you need, because that's what this is about, monitoring yourself and making sure that you're challenging yourself, but not pushing yourself too hard. Good. Let's do 1 more on each side. Excellent. Good work there. Guess what? We're going to do 1 more set, but we're going to combine things even more for this last set. So starting with that back, take those feet a little bit wider than hip. Remember, we want to pull the abdominals in strong. Bend from those hips to support that lower back, nice flat back. And we're going to start with straight arms out to the side, and then bend the elbows and bring them in. So it's straight arms, and then bent arms, elbows come high. Taking it out to the side, and then bending. Good, out to the side, and bend them in. As you're doing this, make sure you're still pulling those abdominals in strong, making sure that we're keeping that back nice and flat. We're not rounding that back. If we need to take a break and stand up, we can certainly do that. And then we can come back, or we can go for an early water break, whatever we need. All right, let's keep trying this 1 more time. Each one, out to the side, and bend those elbows. Good, standing up nice and tall. Great work there. Now we're gonna do one last thing, combining our lunge with our bicep and our overhead press. Whew, what is this gonna look like? All right, let me show you one. If you're ready to just jump right in with me, you can. So we're gonna take it lunge back, and then as we come down, we're gonna push up overhead, take it back to our shoulders, and then step together. So it's a step back, push up, back in, and down. So just like our warm up, when we did this 1 on each side, right? When you step back, add that bicep curl, and then when you take that lunge down is when you're pushing up overhead. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I can tell I'm getting a good workout. I'm starting to get tired, are you? Hopefully so. If not, maybe you're in better shape than me. Whew. It's okay if you are. We're gonna keep this going though, and do 1 more on each side. Last one. Excellent work. Let's set those weights down and grab some water. We should all definitely be ready for a water break. All right. Next, we're gonna go to a little bit of balance. We're gonna do this without weights, so you don't need anything. If you are balance challenged, you might wanna grab a chair if you have one, or if you're near a wall or something else that you can hold on to. We're gonna start by putting our weight into one foot. The other foot is gonna come in front of us. And again, hands can be on our hips. They can be out like this or holding onto an object. We're gonna take that foot up off the floor so that knee comes to that hip height. Now, if this feels too high or too unstable for us, we can take it right down here. But let's try to see if we can hold it at that hip height here. And so from here, we're gonna tap that toe to the floor and come back up. Tap and up and tap and up. As we do this, all of our body weight is in the standing leg here. So this front leg here isn't carrying any of our body weight. It's just tapping, or maybe even like 1/4 of an inch off the floor. As we do this, we're strengthening the ankle on this standing leg, and we're strengthening the quad on this lifted leg. 4, 3, 2, hold the last one at the top. Hold it here. This is like Karate Kid. You all remember that? Ooh, maybe not. Okay, we're gonna take that leg out to the side now. So side and center, side and center. Notice my knee is staying right there at that hip height. Good. Just like that, side to side. So we're shifting that balance a little bit. You can feel this in that standing ankle as your body weight shifts to the side. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, let's take that leg down. Let's switch sides to the other side now. Take that other toe on the floor, grounded through that first leg and lifting it up to that hip height. Now tap down and up and down and up. Down and up and down and up. Good. Down and up. Can you hear me? I'm winded. You guys are working me. Yeah, I can tell. 4, 3, 2. Last one, let's hold it at the top. All right, take those arms out if you need it. Take that leg to the side and center. Side and center. Out to the side and center. Good. Shifting that balance as you take that leg out. Keeping that knee right there at that hip height or whatever level you might be down here doing this. And that's good too. Whatever level you're at, you're shifting that balance as we do this. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Bring those legs down and shake those legs out a little bit. Going back to that first side now, we're going to take that first leg up once again, lifting it up at that knee height. And so now we're going to do a different kind of balance challenge here. So from here, we're going to take that knee forward, and then we're going to switch it to taking that leg back behind us. Now, hands can be on the hips. They can be out like an airplane to help us with a little bit, or you can reach them forward, your choice. So we're going to alternate and bring that knee forward, up to hip height if you're able to, and then take it back. It can be back here, it can be lifted here, or it can be all the way flat. Your choice. Then bring that knee back up in front, and then take that leg extended and back, either flat right here, or maybe right there. And don't lose your balance like me. Knee up, and then take it back behind us. Good, knee up, and then extend back behind. So with this exercise here, you definitely can do this at your own pace, right? So some of you are gonna move really fast and be able to take that knee forward and back and not lose your balance. Others of us need to take a little bit more time and careful to make sure we don't lose that balance. We should feel this strengthening on that standing leg as we extend and reach out. Good. One more time here, bringing it up and taking it out. Good work here. Let's take both feet down. We're gonna go ahead and grab one weight as we go into the next exercise here. So whichever leg you were just standing on, that leg is gonna continue to stand, and we're gonna take that toe back behind us to start with. We're gonna bend down the upper body a little bit, and we can put this hand either on our hip, or if we want to put it on our upper thigh, we can do that as well. So we have an option right here. We're going to pull that weight up so that the shoulder comes up. I can turn sideways here to make it a little easier to see. Pulling that elbow high, weight comes up to the shoulder, and then we're going to bring it down. Pulling it up, and then bring it down. Now, if this feels too easy for you, you want a little bit of balance challenge, you can lift that foot off the ground as we do this. Right here like this, and feel that work in that standing ankle as you pull that elbow up high, or leave that toe on the ground, your choice. 2 more of these, and then we're going to change it up. All right, on this one, hold that elbow up high. Now we're going to extend that arm back to work that tricep, bend it in, and then bring it down. So again, holding that elbow up high, extend back, bend it in, and then lower down. As we do this, our shoulders are staying nice and flat and level. We want to make sure we lift up, we're not twisting that torso at all, but we're keeping those shoulders flat. Elbow comes high, and then shoulder to elbow stays stationary while that elbow just hinges and reaches that weight back behind us. Let's do 3 more of these. Pulling up, elbow stays nice and high. Last 2, and last 1. Good work. Step those feet together. Set that weight down there. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, starting with just the balance. So our weight is gonna be pressed into that foot that was just back behind us. The other one's gonna come in front, and we're gonna start with that knee lifted in that front position there, up to hip height or whatever feels comfortable for you. And then take that leg back behind you, straight back. All right, same thing, bringing that knee forward, hands in on the hips or hands out as you extend that leg back. Good, bringing it up. And if you can go flat, that's an option. Whatever level you're at, it might be right here. And even if that knee is only going up a little bit and leg back, you are still shifting your balance and strengthening that ankle on that standing leg. Whenever we're shifting that weight side to side and standing on that one leg, that leg is having to do that work. That ankle is strengthening, which is something really important. So if ever in real life we lose our balance or we start to fall, our ankles are nice and strong to help catch us. Good, lifting it up and press out. Let's do one more time. Knee lift and pressing out. Good, bring that back to center. Let's go ahead and grab that weight again that we had that first time. We're gonna do the same thing that we did the other side. So we're gonna start by taking that same leg that was just back behind us. Hands can be on the hips if we want as we bend over, or we can put it on that upper thigh there. Now again, option if we want more balance to have that back leg lifted off of the floor as we do this, or toe to the floor, your choice. Elbow's gonna come high as you bring that weight to the shoulder and bring it down. Elbow lift high and down. Good. See how those shoulders are nice and level there? We're not twisting that torso at all, but that elbow is coming high as we're squeezing the back of that shoulder on that side. The other side is taking a little bit of a rest right now. Good. Elbow coming high and then lowering down, resisting that gravity. Good. Last one here. Hold at the top. Let's add that tricep pressing back. Bend it in and then bring it down. Good. Pulling up, tricep press, pull it in and down. Good. So back of the shoulder and tricep is doing work on this exercise. Each time we lift that arm up, that elbow stays nice and high, and then we're hinging elbow to the weight. Making sure that shoulder to elbow stays still once it gets lifted. Let's go 4 more here. We're almost there. 3. Last 2. And 1 more. All right, good work. Let's bring those legs together now. We're gonna grab that second weight so we can do a little bit more shoulder work. If you need water, grab that too. And we're gonna go straight into a frontal raise here. Our feet are gonna be about hip width apart, and knuckles are gonna face the front. Those weights are gonna come up to the shoulder height, and then we're gonna bring it back down to the thighs, coming up to the shoulders, and then take it down. Now at any time, if those shoulders feel like they're getting tired, you have an option to do one arm and then the other arm, or keep it with both arms. Each time you come down, try not to rest those weights on the thighs, but keep them just off the thighs. So that way those shoulders are still having to do a little work, even in that down position. Lifting up and lowering down. Lifting up and lowering down. 4 more, and 3, 2, and the last one. Take those arms to the side. We're gonna shift that weight over to one side. One leg comes to the outside, and we can set that one weight that we've got on that outer thigh, or we can take it off. As we lift this leg up off of the floor, that weight can be pressed right into that leg, or no weight at all, and just lifting the leg and tapping down. So it's lift and lower, lift and lower. Shoulders are staying right over that hip. So you can see my upper body is not moving. It's just that lower body from that hip down to that toe. All of my body weight is into this standing leg. Woo! We're doing a lot of balance work today. A lot of strengthening our ankles. Very, very good for us. Good, those ankles will be tired tomorrow. which will be a good thing. It's a good kind of tired, right? 4 and 3, 2, last one. Good. Center that weight again, both legs evenly distributed there. We're going to do our next set of shoulder before we go to our other leg. This time the knuckles are going to face to the outside. So take those arms up to a T and then lower them down to the side. Lifting up to a T and then lower back down. Lift and lower. Notice as I come down, I slowly come down and I don't rest those arms. So they're still lifted off of my thighs a little bit. So they're still working even in that down position. If we get tired, we can go single arms, one arm and then the other, making sure that we don't lift those weights above our shoulders. We don't want to strain that shoulder joint, but just work it right there. 3 more, 2, and 1. Shifting that weight over to the other leg as that toe comes to the floor. Again, single weight right there. If you're really feeling ambitious, maybe double weight, lifting that leg up, lifting it up. Ooh, I think that's too aggressive. Let's try one weight. 1 weight, 0 weight, 2 weights, whatever you want to create that resistance there as you lift that leg up. Again, shoulders are staying right over those hips. Upper body is nice and still, standing nice and tall. Try not to press that body weight into that foot. Good. Just that standing foot. We're almost there. We're closing in on the end. I know it. I know it. Good. Lifting up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Center that weight again. Last standing exercise right here. We're going to do one more set for our tricep muscles. We're going to take those elbows and bend them back behind us. As we do this, we're going to slightly tip from our hips a little bit just to make the angle a little bit easier for this. And we're going to kick both those triceps back at the same time and then bring the weights to the hip. Kicking it back behind us and then weights come to the hip. Each time you press those weights back behind you, you're squeezing that tricep muscle in the back of the arm to really lengthen and straighten that arm out. We want to stop these weights right there at the hip each time. If we bring those weights up in front of the hip, that's when the bicep muscle takes over. And we already did quite a bit of bicep work, so I think we're good there. We want to finish up with our tricep here. Let's go 4 and 3, 2, one last time. Excellent. Let's take those weights down to the floor. Great time to grab some water. And if you have a mat, you want to grab your mat, or if you're just going to the rug in your room, your living room, wherever you're at, that's great too. You want to make sure you got your weights close by you, because we're going to need those weights as we go into our floor work. So I'm going to move my weights into view here a little bit so y'all can see them. We're going to start on the mat on our back, and you can grab preferably something a little heavier if you've got it, because we're going to be working the chest, which is one of our bigger muscles. So those knees are going to be bent, feet on the floor. Take those arms straight over the chest, knuckles face to the outside, and then we're going to take those arms out to the side and then close them in over the chest. Arms open wide and close over the chest. This should look very similar to our first exercise we did for our back, right? We were bent over that time, and so we were working our back. Now that we're laying on our back, our chest is having to work against gravity to do the same exercise and strengthen the front side of our body. Good, arms reach long. Try to see if you can get them all the way so those knuckles just barely graze the floor, but we don't want to rest them on the floor. Always keeping them working. 4 and 3, 2, last one. All right, let's switch that up now, and we're going to change that direction so those knuckles are going to face us, just like we did with our back. This time we're going to bend those elbows. So the elbows are going to come down and tap the floor, and then weights come over the chest again. Tap the floor, and then over the chest. tap the floor, and come over. This should feel a little bit easier than when we have those straight arms, right? Because those weights stay closer to the center of our body instead of coming all the way out to the side. And we work our chest muscle just a little differently when we're in this position. Good, but we're still strengthening that chest. Good. Pressing down and coming back over that chest. Again, let's not let those elbows rest on the floor, but barely tap the floor and come back up. 4 and 3, 2, and last 1. Great work. Let's set one weight to the floor, unless you have very light weights and you can kind of grab both weights with both hands. But if you have a heavier weight, you can grab a single weight as we go into working our upper back. So we want that weight coming straight over our chest. Elbows are going to be straight, and then we're going to take that weight over our head and then tap the floor or almost get there and then bring it back over the chest. As we come overhead here, we're pressing down with our shoulders. This one is really easy to let those arms take over the work, but we want to think about and focus on that upper back doing the work here. As it comes overhead, use that back to pull those arms down and make that weight come back down over the chest, keeping those shoulders down so they don't hike up near the ears, but they're staying down. Elbows stay straight. As soon as we bend those elbows, we start recruiting that tricep muscle to take over. And we're aiming for that upper back right here. Let's do 2 more of these. We're almost there. And one last one. All right, let's take that weight down. And we are going to go ahead and give that chest a break while we move into our abdominal muscles. Feet can stay flat on the floor, and we can take those hands behind the head right here. Elbows wide to the side. We're going to pull those abdominals in so that lower back isn't forced to the floor, but most likely is probably going to be touching that floor as we pull those abdominals in. Lift the head and shoulders off of the floor, contracting those abdominal muscles, and then lowering it back down and lifting up and lowering and lifting and lowering. As we do this, trying not to let that head touch the floor and rest in between. We want to make sure the top of the shoulders don't lay down back on the floor, but those abdominal muscles are staying contracted the whole time. Good. This is our level 1. If this is feeling too easy for us, we can take it to a level 2 by lifting those feet off of the floor, keeping those knees right over the hips. So we want to make sure the knees don't tuck in like this, but they're staying right over those hips. Those legs are squeezing together in one unit. And that chest and upper body is still lifting, reaching up towards those knees. Good. Inhale each time you lift up. Exhale as you come down. Good. Now level 3, we can take those legs straight up towards the ceiling, still pressing those legs together. Soles of the feet press to the ceiling. Our chest still reaching up towards those straight knees. Good. Top of the head and shoulders stay off the floor. Remember, we can take a break anytime we need to and come back. Let's do 4 more of these crunches. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Lower those feet down. Extend the arms and legs out long, stretching in opposite directions. Good. Feel that nice deep stretch of those abdominal muscles. Excellent. And we're going to roll over onto our front side now. We're going to come up onto all 4s. So your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders. Your knees are going to be underneath your hips. Now we're going to do an exercise that's going to look very familiar. We did this one standing, and now we're going to do it sitting. So we're going to grab a single weight. If you remember when we were balancing, we had a single weight here, and we pulled that weight up so that elbow came up high, pressing it back into that tricep, and then back to the elbow high, and then bringing that weight to the floor. Same thing here, pulling it up, extend back, pulling it in, and lower down. Elbows or shoulders stay nice and level. as we're doing this work. So as we pull up, we make sure we don't twist from there, but we keep those shoulders nice and level. Each time elbow comes high. Elbow stays high with each lift, and then that tricep presses back to extend that weight behind us. In this position, our abdominals are pulled in nice and strong to keep that spine in that neutral position. We don't want that back to arch, and we don't want that lower back to cave in. Let's do 2 more on this side. And last one. All right, let's try the other side. Same thing. Making sure that hand that's on the mat is right underneath that shoulder for support. We're gonna pull that weight up so that elbow comes back high on the other side. Extend it back, bend it in, and then bring it down. Same thing, elbow high, extend, tuck it in, and bring it down. Each time you bring that elbow high, make sure you're keeping it nice and high. Be mindful of those shoulders, that they're staying nice and level. And we're thinking about that body weight being evenly distributed between that single hand and those 2 knees that we're standing on. Continuing to maintain that neutral spine. So many things to think about, right? And all we're thinking about really is our tricep muscle and how tired it's getting. But we're almost there. Let's go 2 more. And one last time. Excellent. Take that weight down. I say excellent because I know you guys are with me and in this and doing this, right? Are we having fun yet? I hope so, because the most fun part has come right now. We're gonna go into a plank, but not just a regular plank. We're gonna do a side plank because we've been doing so many regular planks. So to go into our side plank, we're gonna be on our side. We're gonna have one of our arms at a 90-degree angle so that elbow is right underneath that shoulder. Now, a couple options for us. We can bend this bottom knee so that when we lift our hips up, we're on our knee and on our elbow. If that's gonna feel too easy for us though, we can straighten both legs out and lift with that leg on the bottom. So we have an option, either knee or leg, to do this. All right, so everybody choose your position, what you're gonna do. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, right? If you're doing this with someone, challenge them. Let's lift that hip up. Now, we're gonna try to see if we can do this for 30 seconds. I think most of you can, but if you can't, hold it for as long as you can. Maybe take an extra breath before you wanna go down. Now we're pulling and lifting this bottom hip off of the floor. Sometimes if we reach our hand to the ceiling, that helps give us this illusion, right? We're pulling up. We're at 20 seconds right now. Great job, everyone. Keep that hip lifted and keep breathing here. Excellent. Let's lower it down to the mat. Excellent work. Let's flip over to the other side and we're going to do the same thing. All right, so make sure that elbow is right underneath that shoulder. And again, choose either that knee underneath or that foot underneath. And ready, set, let's lift it up. Keep that bottom hip lifted off of the floor. Good. And if you need to take a break and set that hip down and then come right back up, that's okay. If you feel like you want to go down, reach that hand up for the sky. Pull yourself up. Keep yourself lifted. Nice deep breaths in and out. Good. Fill those lungs up. Focus on your breath. And I lost count. Ooh, I think it's been at least 30 seconds. Do you think? Maybe, maybe, maybe? Yeah, let's take that break down. Good work, everyone. Excellent. All right. Guess what? We are done. You guys did an amazing job today, all right? We're gonna go ahead and do a quick stretch and then send you on your way. So let's go ahead and start with those legs straight out in front of us. We're gonna start by stretching that hamstring. So we're gonna fold one leg in. If you can take it above or below the knee, that's great. And if not, it can come out to the side, whatever is available to you. We're gonna bend from that hip and reach forward towards that straight leg. We want that chest reaching forward. Good. So we want to not think about taking that nose down to that knee, but that chest is reaching so you feel that stretch in the back of that hamstring muscle there. Excellent work. Sitting up nice and tall, switching legs. Let's take that other leg. Bend the other leg in, same thing. Bend from that hip, stretch and reach it forward. Good. Feel that belly and that chest reaching forward. I hope you guys got a good workout today. If you didn't, do it a second time, because then you might feel it. Or add heavier weights. Yeah. We also have a slew of other workouts on our website that you can hook into one of those. A lot of full body workouts that are really great. All right, let's release that stretch. Take both legs out in front. Let's reach one arm across, hug that arm in. Shoulders press down to the floor. You can also join us for any of our YMCA live classes. I teach Wednesdays and Fridays, 9 o'clock. Similar format to this, so if you loved it, come back. All right, let's switch arms. Take that other arm across, hug that arm in. Shoulders press down. Feel that nice deep stretch across that shoulder. Excellent work. Let's take a nice deep breath in, stretch tall to the ceiling. Big exhale. Coming over onto all fours. So you're on your hands and your knees. This is one of the easiest ways I find to be able to stand up from your hands and knees, is to walk those hands back to your feet, push your weight onto those feet, come all the way up to a standing position, and voila, you are on your feet. Thank you so much for joining us today. Feel free to stretch out further. That was just a real quick stretch to kind of get you on your way. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. It's been great being with you. Thank you.